Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another edition of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. I am your humble host, Kevin Reed, and I hope and pray that everyone is doing swell out there. I hope that your day is going fine, no matter what time of the day that you are listening to this show. And I just want to say I'm glad that you tuned in to listen to this show. I greatly appreciate it. For those of you who are returning, thank you for coming back. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that I say something today that will make you want to continue to check me out. Can't Wait Wednesdays is a show that we do here every week where we preview upcoming films that is coming out on streaming services as well as in theaters. And this week, we have both, and we have some can't waits that me personally now, I can't wait for. And maybe you haven't heard of these films. Maybe you didn't know these films were coming out this weekend. And my job is to remind you, like, oh yeah, that's coming out. Let's go check it out. Because that's what I plan to do this weekend. And we have 3 new films coming out this weekend. 2 in theaters, 1 on Netflix. And let's go with the one on Netflix. In case you wrapped up this weekend, can't make it out to the theater, you can check this out at home. And this is a film that is a sequel. But I don't know what kind of... I don't know how to categorize it because going by what I read, is this more of a direct sequel to a 40-year-old film, maybe almost 50, almost 50-year-old film, and they have had a ton of sequels, but we are kind of doing away with those sequels, and this is a direct sequel to the original 1974 film. And the film that I'm talking about right now is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, it's not Halloween, it's not October, but yet and still we have a nice sexy horror film for all of our horror lovers out there. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an upcoming slasher film directed by David Blue Garcia. And it is written by Freddie Alvarez. Freddie Alvarez is a pretty decent filmmaker. The first film that I saw him involved with, where he directed, was the reboot of The Evil Dead a few years ago, and it was really good. It was surprisingly good. And then he went on to make Don't Breathe, which was excellent. And he's written quite a few films in between those, and he's been pretty solid. And he has written this one along with one of his writing partners, and it is a sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, released in 1974, and the 9th, yes, I said it right, 9th installment of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. This picks up several decades after the original, of course, and it focused on the serial killer Leatherface targeting a group of businessmen and coming into conflict with a vengeful survivor of his previous murders. This is a film talking about the original. I didn't see. It's funny. I've seen, out of the 8 that was already previously released, I think I've seen maybe 4 of them, and I've never seen the original. And it wasn't for any reason like, oh, I don't want to see that or nothing. It's just something I just never got around to watching. Now, I've seen the remakes. I think Michael Bay produced a couple of remakes in the early 2000s, which I actually went to the theater to check out, and they were all right. I seen one when was that? When was this? About 5, maybe 6 years ago, and it was horrible. it was horrible, and I just did not care for it. Just Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't really move the needle for me, but the trailer for this one really got me like, oh, this really looks good. I'm really interested in this version. Even though I didn't see the first one, and this is doing basically what the Halloween film franchise did. You notice the original came out in the 70s with Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance, and they had maybe 7 sequel, maybe more than that, 8, 9. I don't know how many sequels they made to Halloween, but it was too many to be honest. But recently, these last 2 films, Halloween and Halloween Kills, which is going to lead into Halloween Ends this October, but they picked up from the original. They did away with all of the other sequels, even Season of the Witch, which was pretty good, which had nothing to do with Michael Myers, but they did away with all those, the Curse of Michael Myers, the whatever, the Cult of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O, all those. They done away with all those, and they just picked up from the original and went from there, which was a pretty good idea because those sequels didn't really hit. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is following that same formula, and this time around we're picking up after the original. And of course, 48 years later, this is where we at with it. So they're going to do away with all those sequels and reboots and remakes and all that goodness. But the premise of this one is Melanie, her entrepreneur friends, and her sister come to a small town in Harlow, Texas, with hopes to renovate the area. Unfortunately, their arrival ends up awakening the deadly Leatherface, who begins to slaughter the newcomers. Meanwhile, the sole survivor of Leatherface's killing spree in 1973 reemerges to take down the murderer. So this will tie directly into that 1974 horror classic. So if you're a fan of that film, if you're a fan of this franchise, you have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which will be released on Netflix this Friday, February the 18th. I can't wait. I'm intrigued by this. That trailer got me so interested in it. I want to watch the original. I really do. They put a couple of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies on Netflix in anticipation for this, but I didn't see the original. I guess I probably have to look a little deeper. It's probably on there, but I know I saw the remake from about 15 years ago. I can't give the date on it, but yes, this looks interesting. So you have that. We also have, if you're not into horror, if you actually want to go to the theater, which should be fine now, we have a little family film, a little comedy, and it's entitled Dog. And this is for all you good dog lovers, you good comedy lovers. This looks like it. This is another film that I didn't think I was interested in at first, but as the promotion material kept coming out for it, I was like, this looks interesting. This looks funny, cute even, and I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, a big softy, but I'm really intrigued by this. Dog is an upcoming American comedy film directed by Channing Tatum and Reed Carolyn. Nice name, Reed. Making their respective film directorial debuts. The film stars Channing Tatum, Jane Addams, Kevin Nash, Eden Supplin, Emmy Lampman, and Bill Burr. The film is set for release this Friday, February the 18th in theaters. The premise of this film, excuse me, is U.S. Army Ranger Briggs is tasked with bringing Lulu, a Belgian military working dog, down the Pacific coast from Joint Base Lewis in Washington to Arizona in time to attend her handler's funeral. It's like a little road trip comedy between Channing Tatum and his dog, and it just that's the movie. That's the premise, And the dog is the dog is not very cooperative, to say the least, with him, and it looks like I don't know. A lot of people are kind of hot and cold. You either hot or cold with Channing Tatum. I must say, I was cold. I didn't feel Channing Tatum is a quote unquote good actor. I really didn't like him in. Nothing against him personally, but he was the same person in every movie. That's the way I felt, and it was never any reach there. But I loved him in the 21 Jump Street films. He was hilarious in those movies. Everything else I didn't really like. Now, I saw him in this film, in the movie. I just had the title, and it popped out of my head. Where he was this wrestler, amateur wrestler. It was a dark film, real dark. And it was a nice little turn for him. And I actually enjoyed him in that, and I really saw his acting chops in that. Now, Channing Tatum has been in quite a few films. The G.I. Joe movies, which were bad. Not because of him. They were just bad movies. He was in, I've never seen the Magic Mike movies. I just can't bring myself to watch them. And countless others. But this film looks like it's a real cute film. He has another film coming out in a few weeks with Sandra Bullock that looks interesting. I also want to check him out in that. But something about this, I don't know, because if he's directing it or, he has a part, he also produced it as well. Maybe he was more comfortable, he was easy to work with the director, being as though he is the director, I guess. So it just seems like there's a better tone to this film, and it really got me interested in it. And so Dog will be released this Friday in theaters, and it's going up against some stiff competition, to say the least. Look, I love counter programming. Okay, I love the fact that we have a horror coming out this weekend, comedy coming out this weekend. But this is right up my alley, this one here, for countless reasons. One is an action movie. You got me there. Two, it stars Tom Holland, a.k.a. Spider-Man. It also stars Mark Wahlberg, another one of my favorites. But that's not what's drawing me to this film. What's drawing me to this film is the fact that this is based off the greatest video game franchise ever. I know there's a lot of gamers out there who would say it would be Call of Duty. It would be what else? What other franchises is what, Madden? I don't know. I'm not a big gamer like that, but or Halo or something like that. I don't know what you can compare this to. But me personally, I just love Uncharted. Uncharted is hands down my favorite video game series of all times. I owned all the games. This was the reason I have a PlayStation, because I have an Xbox. But because the Uncharted is exclusive to PlayStation, Sony, I had to get it. I had to get a PlayStation for these games. And I own each and every one of them. I've played each and every one of them. I've finished each and every one of them. And I still go back to play them constantly. Love the video game. Which is what scares me to death about this movie. I'm I'm so tired of video game adaptations because I'm constantly let down. I haven't seen a good video game adaptation yet. There's only been one. I'm going to take that back. There's only been one. And that was Sonic the Hedgehog. And that was teetering. But it was decent. I actually enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog. But that was Sonic the Hedgehog. This is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. A lot of people hold it near and dear in their heart. Uncharted is, as far as storytelling, it is cinematic within itself. You could just take the games and put it on screen. There are 4 movies just right there for you. Now, at first when they announced this some years back, they've been trying to get this film off the ground forever. I don't know what the hiccup was, what the bugaboo was, why they couldn't find a story. You literally have 4 games to take from. You know, it's not that complicated. So, I'm not saying go verbatim to the game, but you know, the stories are great. They actually have some great stories. Just borrow from that and add to that. But Uncharted is a American action adventure film directed by Ruben Fletcher, and that is another kind of a pause I have. Ruben Fletcher, although he directed Zombieland, which is funny as I don't know what, that caught me off guard. That's one of them movies that caught me off guard. I thought it was gonna be one of those just stupid, and just a dumb, stupid zombie comedy movie, but it was more than that. It actually had heart. It actually had a story, and it was fun. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. And he made that. You know, he also made Gangsta Squad, which was bad, but it wasn't as bad as Venom, because he made that too. Did not like Venom. Now, he didn't have anything to do with Venom 2. Thank God, because that was worse than Venom. But Uncharted, maybe maybe he can redeem himself here. We shall see. But it is based on the video game series of the same name, developed by Naughty Dog. It stars Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg as his mentor, Victor Sullivan. Drake is recruited by Sutherland in a race against Santiago Moncada, who is portrayed by Antonio Banderas, to locate a fabled treasure in the Mongolian expedition. Look. Now, this doesn't seem like, going by the promotional material, it doesn't seem like it's based off of one particular game, but you do see elements of, I think, part 3, Uncharted 3, the video game. I see part of that in there, especially with the action sequence on the plane. I see elements of part 2 with Chloe. I see elements of part 4 when they went into, or was it part 3 when they did the flashbacks? No, it was part 4 when they did the flashbacks. And No, it was three. It was three, and telling the origin story of Nathan Drake. It looks like they're gonna mash them all together here. There in the games, there's more to it than what meets the eye. You think it was just a straight up, linear story, but there was always something else. There was some type of supernatural element involved, or things of that nature. Just off the cuff, just came out of the blue, but it fit the story, and that's what I loved about Uncharted. Still love about that video game series. I hope they keep that going. Now, at one point in this film development, early on, a few years ago, Mark Wahlberg was actually cast as Nathan Drake, which I did not see. When they announced that, I was upset. I was mad as all get out, because I was like, he don't fit Nathan Drake. He didn't fit Nathan Drake to me. But as time went on, I guess he got kind of older, so they like, well, he can't play Drake. But they still wanted to keep him, so they made cast him as Sully, and I still didn't see that either. I still don't see it. I gotta watch the movie in order to really see if he nails Sully, because Sully got a certain thing about him. Now Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, I didn't see that either when they first announced it, and I was like, really? He's kind of young. He's real young. And at the time, he was like young. This was like right when Spider-Man came out, and he's kind of young to be Nathan Drake. They really going to do an origin or something, I guess. But once again, they kept pushing it back and couldn't get the story right or whatever. But which leads us to now, they finally got it going, and he's a little older, he's a little seasoned, and now I can see it. Now I feel he's I'm not going to say perfect, because the perfect person to play Nathan Drake was Nathan Fillion. But they waited so long, Nathan Fillion got kind of up there in age. Even though I think he still could play that character, but he's a little older. So I guess we got to go with Tom Holland. But I think that's a real good, because I know they wanted to go younger so they can build a franchise. And that's a testament to Tom Holland. You know how hard it is to carry a film? That is difficult for actors. That's why you always see certain actors in in several movies, because they know that's bankable. That actor can carry that film, and it's hard. It's hard. So it's even harder when you have to carry a franchise. And Tom Holland did that with Spider-Man. And that was a big franchise, and I pray that he still is involved with Spider-Man in some capacity. I hope that No Way Home wasn't his swan song. I hope he does come back and continue playing Spider-Man. But he held that down and did an excellent job as Spider-Man. But it's a testament to him and his work that they're willing to give him another franchise with Uncharted, because if this hits, this will be a franchise. This has so much potential, so much story to be told. But I'm excited for it. I really am. This is my big shucky ducky quack quack movie of the week. This is the one that I have been waiting for. It's in my top 10 most anticipated this year. I am excited for this movie, and I'm hoping and praying I don't be let down. Now the film has received mixed reviews thus far, with criticism for the screenplay and the casting, but they do praise, it's universal praise for Tom Holland's performance. So that just amens what I was just saying about Tom Holland. How the dude is exceptional, man. He is a awesome actor. But this Friday we get to judge for ourselves because Uncharted will be released in theaters on February the 18th. So that's our those are our can't waits for this week. I'm pumped up. I really am. I'm excited. I'm excited for this film. I'm actually slick style excited for all three. I like dog for some reason, and I'm not a animal person like that. I'm not a real big animal person, but I really, really want to see that movie. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I got suckered in by the trailers. They did their job. If that was the trailer job, it worked on me. I'm really excited for that. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's one of those Saturday night, just lay in the bed, watch on Netflix movies that I'm cool with. I'm cool with. I can chill and watch that. So those are our three films coming out this Friday. Did any one of y'all watch The Book of Boba Fett? And I'm not going to go into a review per se, but I just want to discuss The Book of Boba Fett that's on Disney Plus. I did not like it. I did not like The Book of Boba Fett. I thought they were going to do more with that character. And to be honest with you, and I said this in a previous episode when we were leading up to the release of it, I never was a Boba Fett guy. I never did see the allure in Boba Fett. He was in the movies. He only had like 2 or 3 lines out the whole first the 2 movies that he was in. The third one, he was only in it for like 5 minutes until we thought he was killed, but whatever. Star Wars, nobody dies. Which is one of excuse me, which is one of the reasons I didn't too much care for this show. It's only 3 episodes that I liked, and that was to the end. And the only reason I liked them is because Boba Fett wasn't even in them. It was all Mandalorian, which was mind-boggling to me. Y'all had that little of faith in this show, in this character, that towards the end of the series or the season, you pretty much took the show away from him and you turned it into The Mandalorian, 3.5 or something? I don't know. It turned into The Mandalorian, which I wasn't mad at because I love those episodes. I love that character. I love that story, and it actually told a story. The other episodes that involved Boba Fett and his quest to be the crime lord or whatever fell flat. They really did. And I don't understand why. Because you had some top-notch actors, you had some awesome characters, but it fell flat. And it was a miss, man. It was a miss by Lucasfilms on that one. I really did not like it. I did not care for it. I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. Otherwise, I would have stopped watching like after episode 3. But I hung tough in it because I said, well, it can only get better. And it did. It did. But it didn't involve Boba Fett. But I felt that he shouldn't have had a show anyway. No knock against him. But what story can you tell with Boba Fett? Apparently none, because there was no story there. Because the whole arc of it, the whole story that was being told, in case nobody has seen it, I don't want to spoil it. When they get to the end, it's like, you know what? This wasn't a good idea. Let's not do this. What was the point of this season? What was the point? What was the point? So I don't know. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but I am looking forward to the next season of the Mandalorian. That I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Kenobi, which is coming out in May, I believe. They just announced. You also have Ahsoka that's coming out soon. I mean, they got some good Star Wars. Well, I ain't gonna say good because I haven't seen them, but they have some Star Wars material that is coming out fairly soon. So maybe they'll bounce back from that. But I think they had an idea for Boba Fett and they just didn't execute it properly. I'll put it like that. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. I had to get that off the chest. I had to tell somebody about it. Because my family pretty much bailed after the first episode. Later on, they came back and asked if I was, am I still watching it? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching it. And they're like, oh, why didn't you say we would have kept watching it? I could tell you I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch it. It did not hook. It just did not hook. But I'm dedicated, so I toughed it out. I toughed it out. But honest to God, those last 3 episodes were chef's kiss. Those were beautiful because they had nothing to do with Boba Fett. Anywho's, that's the show for today, people. I hope you check out one of these films this weekend. You have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, rated R, on Netflix this Friday. You have Dog, rated PG-13, coming out in theaters this Friday. Also coming out in theaters this Friday, we have the biggie of them all, Uncharted, rated PG-13 in theaters. I will be going to see Uncharted. Maybe we'll do a review next week. It depends on how I feel. It depends on how the film is. If the film is too bad to review, I'm not reviewing it. But if it's, I can't say that. I gotta review it whether it's bad or not. So it may be next week. It may be the week after. I don't know. We'll see how it falls. But in any event, yeah, I will be checking out Uncharted this weekend. Hopefully, actually, now that I think about it, because currently, everybody, I can announce this. Currently, I'm at the time of this recording, I'm building my new studio in my backyard, and at first I was having somebody build it for me, and that didn't work out. Trying to find someone else to build it for me, that didn't work out. So finally, I got tired of waiting because I needed my new studio. I really do need my new studio, and I decided to start it by my lonesome, and I've been building it for the past week, and it is exciting but wearing me out at the same time. It is I'm not a carpenter by trade. I'll just say that. Thank God for instruction manuals, because I would be lost like it's nobody's business. I already messed up a couple of times. I had the foundation. It took me 3 days to get the foundation up, and I built the flooring, but I didn't put the flooring on the foundation. I figured, okay, pick it up and just place it on the foundation. But once I built it, I realized it's heavy now. So now I need help to pick it up and put it on the foundation. I thought it would be like in 2 pieces. The way it was looked on the instruction thing, it was like in pieces. So I thought maybe I could just put it in pieces. No. And I got to going, I was in the groove, and it's all one piece. So now I gotta get it to where I'm gonna need a multitude of people to move the foundation. Move the flooring on the foundation. But it's just one of those things I have to learn going. But I don't plan to build houses no time soon. But in case it happens again, I know better next time. But yeah. So I've been tied up busy, and that's why I haven't been to the theater in a couple of weeks now, because I've been focused on that. But I will carve off time this weekend to go see Uncharted. That's a must. That's a must. So everybody, once again, I hope you check out these films. They look real interesting. It's exciting. Plus, we got to get these films out the way because your friendly reminder, in a couple of weeks, The Batman will be released. And there's nothing else getting in my way of The Batman. So we got to get these films out of our hair before that juggernaut lands in theaters on March the 4th. But I get to see it a little earlier. Hey. Anywho's, everybody, thank you for joining me. Don't forget, if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave your 5-star ratings and your reviews. It helps this show out tremendously. Helps me out to the point where I can build my studio. Hey, see what I'm saying? Continue to help and support this show. Also, if whatever listening platform you are currently listening to this podcast, don't forget to follow, share with all your friends that you listen to the KB Radio Network. Whether you're listening to today's show, Can't Wait Wednesdays, or you listen to Movie Goodness, or you listen to the Dawn Patrol podcast, our podcast for the New Orleans Saints. We are on all listening platforms, and don't forget to check us out on social media, KB Radio Network. Everyone, has been an honor, a privilege, and a joy. I want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.